Hi, this is Coralla at CorallaFicklin.com, WelcomeNetwork.com, iStudyGuides.com, and AskPlain.com. And we're back talking about minimum pairs and how they can be confusing at times in English, and how minimum pairs, depending on the language from which you come, some words can be more confusing than others, and some sounds can be more confusing than others. For example, in Spanish, especially Latin American Spanish, not so much Spanish from Spain, because Spanish from Spain, they make the distinction between the B and the V, okay? But in Spanish, for example, of Mexico, at least in some areas, they don't make the difference between the B and the V. You would have some people say, when you're doing the alphabet, B grande y B chica, which means basically it's the same sound, but one is B grande, big, y B chica, small. So there isn't that difference. But in English, you have to make the difference. Because if you say, I'm going to boat, that's very different than I'm going to vote. In Spanish, the verb votar is pronounced as if it began with a B, even though it's written with a V. And vidrio, even though it's written with a V, it sounds as if it is written with a B. That's correct in Spanish, or at least in some areas of the Spanish-speaking world. In English, no. And I'll say, you're going to boat. Where are you going to boat? Oh, I'm going to boat for Obama, or I'm going to boat for Bush, maybe, or I'm going to boat. No, you're not going to boat. That you're not going to take a boat, you're going to vote. So you have to make the distinction between the B chica and the B grande. In English, it's ba and va. Now, for an English speaker, B and V is no problem, not at all. If for the English speaker, it's the V and the and the F. But let me give you the list. So here's the list. I'm looking over here. I'm looking at the web page itself. So here's the list. V versus B. Okay. B. Let me see. Let me give you an example with V versus B. And once again, that more is for a Spanish speaker. So it would be, here's one. V, van versus van. Van, I drive the van. I am in a van. Yes, van, ban. So here we go. Now this is basically for English speakers who have the problem, but it can be confusing to anyone. B versus P. So it's pit, pa, and bit, ba. L versus R. Lip versus rip. Let me see. T versus D. Tin versus ba, din. Then we have T versus CH. Art versus arch. Now that's not too bad, I don't think. I mean, I think that especially if the person pronounces correctly, it's not that bad. Some are a little bit more confusing than others. Okay, so let's continue here. Okay, so we have G versus K. Angle, go, angle, go, and ankle. Angle, and here is right the back of the throat. Angle and ankle. Okay, so it's angle and ankle, pronounced, normally. Then we have D versus TH. Because some people, and these are just for English speakers, they pronounce the TH as if one of the sounds, because the TH has more than one sound, has TH has at least 3 sounds. So one of the sounds of the TH, they pronounce as if it were a D. So listen to this. So it's the D versus the TH. So it's bird, da da da, bird versus birth, birth. Now, you know, when you pronounce the TH, you know, you don't go through all this. It's much more subtle. But there is a distinction, right? You don't want to say my birthday. It's my birthday. Okay, so it's D versus CH, bend versus bench. That's not too bad. I think that's rather clear. All right. Now, the SH versus the CH, depending from which language, I think maybe French speakers would have problems, because sometimes when they write the CH, that pronunciation in English is not the CH pronunciation, it's the SH pronunciation. An example would be champagne. We don't say champagne, champagne. We don't say Chevrolet. We say champagne. So the CH-SH could be very problematic for someone who's a French speaker. But let's look at it, the SH versus the CH. So you have wash, that ends in the SH, and watch. Wash and watch. Now you don't say in English watch. You just say wash and watch. Okay? But there's a distinction, and it's clear to an English speaker. One is wash, wash. I wash my clothes, and I watched the man. Or I watched the man. Okay. Then you have the difference between the S and the SH. Paris and parish. That can be confusing. Paris and then Paris in April or Paris in spring. There's a song like that somewhere. Or parish. I live in Our Lady of Mercy's parish. Okay. Then you have the S versus the Z. Fussy, you know, she's very fussy, and fuzzy, not clear, very blurry. Fussy versus fuzzy. Then you have the S versus the CH. Mass, I go to mass. Match. I don't think that's too bad. But let me just do it, because it might be difficult for someone coming from a language where you really don't hear that distinction. Mass versus match. Then there's the D. Oh, I already did that. Let me see. The F versus the V. First versus versed. First, versed. First, versed. One is, I think they call it when the air, I forgot what that expression is. It's not an expression, definition. When the air comes out. First, versed. When you say the V, there's no air. When you say the F, it's first, versed. Now, the tape is getting a little bit long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to, in the next tape, we'll continue looking at the minimum pairs and the different pronunciation and the difficulty. So this is Carala Ficklin at CaralaFicklin.com, WelcomeNetwork.com, Explain.com, or iStudyGuides.com.